Namaskaram, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Guruji. We are now live, Guruji.
Okay, thank you. Hari Om. Nice chanting, Pravarha. Very good chanting.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, now we'll start the class. Okay, let's all chant the Prarthana Shlokas. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parambrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurti Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryanta Mande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Adayam Karunadayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakato Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurte Namaha Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Sri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudanaham Om. Let's all chant Yam Brahma. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Dimyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadair Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Shri Krishnaya Paramatmane Namaha Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dvitiyodhyayaha Sankhya Yogaha. Let's all chant the Adi Shankaracharya's Mangala Shloka for Shankara Bhashyam. Hope all of you got right. Somebody can paste the shloka for newcomers. Om Narayana Parom Vyaktat Andamam Vyakta Sambhavam Andasyantaspi Me Lokaha Saptadvipacha Medini Om. Ardham Swagatam. We will start with shloka number 17. 16 is over. So, Pravarha, please come to chant alongside me for shloka number 17. Okay, very good. Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dvitiyodhyayaha Sankhya Yogaha Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Avinashitu Tad Vidhi Yena Sarvamidam Tatam Vinashamam Yayasyasya Nakaskit Kartumarhati.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Avinashitu Tadvidhi Yena Sarvamidam Tatam Vinashamavyyasyasya Nakaschit Kartumarhati.
Very good. Let's chant together. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Avinashitu Tad Vidhi Yena Sarvamidam Tatam Vinashamam Yayasyasya Nakaschit Kartumarhati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we are in that portion of Bhagavad Gita where Bhagavan is explaining Atma Tattvam. And what is Atma Tattvam? Atma Tattvam is our own true nature. Clear, no? Huh? Do we know our true nature? Not exactly. We know something about ourselves, right? So every day we see ourselves in the mirror or something like that and see what is happening. Some people find some hairs are all gone gray, so they are thinking that, what is that? I don't know what they put, no? Then they find out something happening, no, changing and all, right? But is that my real nature? So Vedanta is actually helping you understand who you really are. And why should we understand our real nature? Anyway, there are 99.99% people in the world running around so many things, right? Andanaji, right? Why should we sit down, study Bhagavad Gita, and that to take 211 to 225, and then go on studying all these things? Please understand, once you know your true nature, and what is the true nature? Right, Vandanaji? Your true nature is that of eternal happiness. Paramananda Swarupam. Then what happens? What is this then that's happening to my body, to my mind, thought process, sense organs? They weaken over a period of time, they create trouble. Oh, what is all that? It has nothing to do with my true nature, which is my own true nature, which is Paramananda Swarupam. And so what happens? Whatever happens in the world at the first level, let me tell you, the first benefit, because you need benefit, right? Pavani madam from UK, right? You need some benefit for doing anything, right? Huh? So there is one Slokha in Sanskrit which says, Prayojanam anudvishya mandopi na pravartate. That means what? Without any benefit, even a dull-witted person will not venture into that, correct? There is no benefit. Will you enter into it? I keep saying this in Hindi, for people who know Hindi. Ah, bel mujhe maar. Naveen Balwadji. Will anybody go and say, ah, bel mujhe maar? No, nobody will do that, right? That means what? For people who don't know Hindi, it means you go on the street and look at a bull and say, you come and, no, come and hit me. You let me do that. You are doing everything for some benefit. And so this is the highest benefit, the greatest benefit, which in other words is called as moksha. In the 4 goals of life, which we all pray in the temple, right? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Chaturvidha, Phala, Purushartha, Siddhyartham. We say in the temple, correct? Or at home when you do any puja or any important function or anything you do, correct? First, that is the sankalpam we do, right? In that, the highest Purushartha means goal. Purushartha has got 2 meanings. One, it means goal. Another means what can be achieved by self-effort is also called Purushartha. Wonderful word. So by my effort, I try to attain the highest goal. And Acharya Shankara says consistently in all his commentaries, Mokshayeva Parama Purushartha. Moksha only. That means what? What is moksha? The knowledge, establishment in the knowledge that my nature is pure consciousness. I have seeming relationship with this body, sense organ, mind, intellect for doing transactions in the world. So whatever is happening through these medium that is so-called coming and affecting me are actually not supposed to affect me at all. And by this knowledge, Viveka Shakti, Jnanam, you are able to separate what is happening around you from your true nature. And so you continue to perform action in the world, but are ever happy. That is knowledge. And you can ask me, there is knowledge alone enough? Should we not do something? Some sadhana is not required. Should you not do tapas? Should you not go to forest? Should you not stand upside down? So people doing so many different things. Knowledge alone is enough. What is the example? Narayan sir. If this room is dark, any amount of tapas, japam, will it bring light to this room? What is required? Switch on light, and then this place gets the light, right? Similarly, this darkness called ignorance, the only solution is the light of knowledge. And it will take a lot of effort to keep on being on the path and internalize this knowledge. And then one day, you will get the realization. And if you don't get it, you will be born again and again to get this realization. Because our pursuit, human pursuit, is for this eternal happiness. Later, a lot of slokas are going to come. Bhagavan is going to say how wonderfully all of us are searching for this same thing without knowing it is your own true nature. Okay, now with this background, let us understand Shloka number 17. What Bhagavan said? Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinasha mabhiyasyasena kaschit kartum arhati. So in explaining the Atma Tattvam, Bhagavan is saying that, see, there are two aspects that are there in the universe that you are seeing. One aspect is perishable. There is another aspect that is imperishable. The perishable will be under the ken of your senses. That means what? You can cognize them either through your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, smell, or through other equipments like binoculars, like your telescope. Through various means of knowledge, you can cognize those that are perishable. But there is one imperishable, changeless entity which is supporting the entire perishable universe. Why is the universe called as perishable? Trivedi-ji? Because it goes through three states. What is that? You should know. Srishti, Sthiti, and Layam. That means what? It is manifesting. See, the word Jagat, I told you some time back. What is the vyutpatti for the word Jagat? Jayate. Jakara means Jayate. Gakara means Gachati. Takara means Tishtati. You reorganize. Jayate, Tishtati, Gachati. Very good. Lalita, now you're saying, no. Jayate means what? That which is born. Tishtati means what? That which is sustained. Gachati means that will go. So, Jagata, for Sanskrit understanding, you put Jataga. That's all. Only some small words. So you understand. All three are there in the world. In the word Jagat itself, all three are there. And what is Jagat? Jagat is the entire universe. Entire universe, that is all matter principle, will get created, sustained, and destroyed over a period of time. Because the universal principle is what? Anything that is created will get destroyed. Next law you should write down. Anything that is created will at some point in time will get destroyed. It can be even the sun, the moon, everything will, only a question of time. See, for our life, maybe 100 years, 120 years, what Krishna years are. 120 years we will not be able to see. Great entities getting created, but at least you can see in front of you, some cyclone comes. One tree gets destroyed, correct? No, you can see ants getting destroyed or some small insects. So creation means there will be dissolution. But to sustain this cycle, there is one imperishable entity that is called Atman or Brahman. Both are one and the same. So Bhagavan is saying, see, you are looking at what is the context here. Please understand. This is actually a topical problem. Topical, T-O-P-I-C-L. Can somebody write in the chat box? It's a topic, right? What is the topic? Arjuna has to fight Bhishma, Drona. There's a problem. It's a topical problem. But actually, the real problem of Arjuna is deep-rooted. Correct, Bhaskaran? I hope you're understanding. Topical, it is manifesting in a situation like a war, but the actual problem is deep-rooted. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Many times it looks like a seeming problem. For example, I'll give you somebody very close to you, very, very close to you. I'm not trying to say you should think like that. Something that happens that you are not expecting at all. It could be you can imagine your own thing. It could be something, I don't want to say what the situation can be, that you never expected that to happen. You can put it whatever you want in your life. It can be a dissociation, it can be a disease, it can be, some other problem, some other thing, some disaster, whatever, right? That will be only a topical situation. That will be only an incident. But the way you react will determine whether you are prepared for that situation. Or understand what I'm saying? So, what happens is, the fact that I don't know about my true nature, about the Atman, about Brahman, all those things will not bother you when you are running your day-to-day life. Everything is going fine. What Malachi Madam Suprabhatam? So what Atman? Atman Rindana illati enna? Atman is called what? This heyo padeya vardita. We say for Ambal, no, neither can you, it's not subject to acceptance, not subject to rejection. That means what? You cannot say, I will accept Atman. Atman is your nature. You cannot reject the Atman because it is your nature. So there's no question of taking or leaving the Atman. So it becomes part of you, just like breath. No, you're breathing, you're running along with it and going on. Who is bothered about sitting and looking at breath? Only as long as you don't have any problem of breathing, you will not look at breath. Correct? Similarly, you will not need to know about this until you are facing some situation or you got Purvajana Samskara and start thinking that is there something called as eternal happiness. Happiness used to be coming in parts. There are very few people in the world who go and search for the Atman after being very, very successful in life. See, many people think you should go towards Vedanta and all when some disaster happens in life. Correct? This fellow has got some love failure, some problem. That's why he's going and studying Vedanta. They think like that. Correct? But there are few people who will be smart, who will know that everything is going fine, but even then, this is never the permanent happiness that I am looking for. I am still in the perishable entities. I told you just now. I am still depending on this perishable entity. So I need to look at the imperishable. So some people, select few will focus on this. So Bhagavan is saying here, when you're asked to fight with Bhishma and Drona, their real nature is not this body that you are thinking they are. They are really the Atma Tattvam. And the Atma Tattvam behind every entity is imperishable. Got the point? That means even if you kill them, the imperishable nature of Atman will continue to exist. And so Bhagavan now applies the principle that he is trying to explain to Arjuna to a universal truth, a message of the Atman Brahma Tattvam that we all should know. And here is the important shloka where Bhagavan is going to say the Atman is actually Brahman. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Advaita Tattvam is being explained here. How? Know that this Atma to be imperishable. It is an imperishable one by which all these perishable entities is pervaded. All karmani prayogam. That means what? This Atma Tattvam pervades every perishable entity you can think of. Atman by nature is imperishable. It pervades all the perishable entities in the world. Now you're understanding this? When I rephrase it, you will understand. Otherwise, it's slightly difficult. Atman is here. Then Bhagavan is saying it pervades everything. That means what? What you call as the Atman that is within you is actually the Brahma Tattvam which is pervading the entire universe. Are you understanding now? And I told that Upanishad mantra in the last class. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. Upanishad mantra didn't say that Akasha or space is created from Brahman. Paiji. Upanishad says space is created from Atma. That is from you, from your true nature. There is another Upanishad mantra which says, Mayeva sakalam jhatam. Write down. Mayi sarvam pratishtitam. Mayi sarvam layam yanti. Tad brahma advayasmyaham. It's very difficult to chant. You have to learn how to chant this. Tad brahma advas. Correct. Ramamani. Very good. Meenakshi Madam is there. Correct. Tad Brahma Advayam Asmi Aham. That means what? I am that Brahma Tattvam. Advayam. Advayam means what? One, no two. So Bhagavan is saying that Atma Tattvam, that is your nature, my nature, everybody's nature, is imperishable. And by this one, everything is pervaded. This is pervading everything. Now, when everything is destructible in the world, can this Atman also be destroyed? Is the question, correct? If everything is destroyed, why can't this Atman be destroyed? Pavan had a question, right? All the other colors, you have Nainam, Chindanti, you ask the question, no, all that will come. Unless you know this Atman correctly, you will not know the other shlokas. How Bhagavan is explaining further. So this Atman nature is indestructible. And how we'll understand slowly. So please understand, you need something that is indestructible to support everything that is destructible. Correct? Correct? Avitra madam, right? If the supporting principle itself gets destroyed, where will the destructible entity be supported? It is there for some time, right? So you need something that is substratum, which is supposed to be what? Able to support the one that is held inside. For example, you heat water in a pot. The pot should be able to hold the water inside and bear the heat and heat the equipment, right? If that itself starts breaking, then where will the water be put to heat your get a hot water, right? The sustainer should not get subject to destruction. So the sustainer is indestructible. And not only the supporting principle is indestructible, another important point, it should be changeless. For example, I'll give an example. Okay, I'll use this. There is one piece of paper on which this fellow is supported. Okay, you can see this, right? You all can see? So this fellow is flat. And so this round pen is able to be supported by this flat entity. What if one day this fellow becomes cylinder? It cannot support, right? Are you getting me a point? The supporting entity should be changeless so that the supported entity can be stable. If this fellow starts dancing and becomes like this and all, one day what will happen? This will not be supported. Are you getting the point? Are you understanding? The one that is supporting should also not undergo change. Two aspects, please write down very carefully. One is supporting principle gets destroyed, whole world also won't exist. Two, supporting principle also start changing form. Like we do, no? One day we are like a very holy person, next day we are a different form. You cannot keep on changing like that. So what happens then? The entity that is sustained, that's sitting on that object will not be supported. Simple example, like, hopefully you understood, no? So these two are the aspects of Atma Tattvam. So now let us understand. When you read the words, you'll understand more clearly. Avinashi tu tat vidhi. Avinashi tu tat vidhi. Break it down. Tat tu avinashi. Beautifully it is told. Tat tu avinashi vidhi. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Very important word in Vedanta. The word tatam is very important. Tatam. Then vinasham 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐸𝐵𝐭𝐚𝐚𝐲𝐻 asya na kaschit kartum arhati. Got it? Now, Anvaya. Tu. Tu means what? In Sanskrit, when tukaram comes, it is but. So in the previous sloka, what did Bhagavan say? I hope you all by hearted the previous sloka. That thing you can never forget the previous sloka. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, bhayorapi dushtontas tanayos tattva darshibhihi. Don't forget that. Please try and memorize that sloka. Very important. In that sloka, what did Bhagavan say? That the real can have no non-existence. Real will always have existence. Non-real can have no real existence. It's got dependent existence. I told you, no? Existence of the unreal is dependent on the supreme reality. So Bhagavan is saying, while the fellow, that unreal entity can have dependent existence, but you know what? No, vidhi, tat. Tat means that. Actually, tat means tad brahma. Here is tadatma. Here is my own nature, that atma. Avinashi. The supporting principle, the supreme reality principle. Avinashi means what? Vinashi means, you know, that perishes, correct? Avinashi means what? Imperishable one. So first principle, the supporting one has to be definitely imperishable. And so Bhagavan says, Yena sarvam idam. By which all this is in what? Everything, the entire Jagat you are seeing, entire universe, cosmos, all this, tatham is pervaded. That means what? It is once again passive voice. Active voice, how did you put it? This imperishable Atma Tattvam or Brahma Tattvam pervades the entire universe, which is of perishable nature. Are you understanding? Are you getting it? No, Rangan Mukund? Clear, no? Ramesh Venkatesan? Okay. Now, can somebody else, some other entity, somebody come and destroy the supporting principle? Bhagavan says, na kaschit. Tatam means pervaded. Tatam means is pervaded. Okay. Sarvagatatvam means tatam. Sarvagatatvam. That's a short form, no? Tatam. Okay. Now, can anybody go and destroy the fundamental principle? Answer is na kaschit. No one. Arhati kartum can bring about. Arhati inga irukku. Na kaschit kartum arhati. The last word. So, na kaschit. No one. Arhati kartum can bring about what? Vinasham. Means what? Kshayam. Dhamsam of what? The destruction of what? Asya 𝐈𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸. Of this changeless one. So Bhagavan, when he came back to Atman again, used the word changeless. Earlier he told Avinashi. Now he is telling 𝐈𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 asya of Shashti Vibhakti. Of this changeless one. So this changeless one can never be destroyed by anybody. If you put it in active voice. If I say this, you can understand, right? In the previous sloka, the way to understand is this imperishable one is that Atma Tattvam which pervades every entity, and the same entity is also changeless, for which there is no destruction. No one can bring about destruction for this changeless entity. That means what? The same entity is both. Now, formula is clear, right? A is supporting B. Okay. Then C is also supporting B. That means what? A and C are one and the same. Correct? Are you getting the formula? Lalita is very nice. Correct. Imperishable and changeless. Very good. So two aspects. Swarupa Lakshanam. I told you earlier. See, this Atman cannot be comprehended with the mind. So by explaining all these things one by one, you got to start understanding the nature of Atman. Don't try to objectify. Don't try to think that it is like a light, it is like some lamp, it is like some something like that. It is something that is formless, that is colorless, that is got no sound. Ashabdam asparsham arupam abhyayam tatha arasam. Rasame kadayadu. Our rasam, rice rasam, it's not rasam. Tatha arasam. Nityam agandham. Upanishad tantram, okay? So, that is very difficult to comprehend. So, Bhagavan is saying a lot of things to explain different ways. Now, what is the corollary you are getting from this? Please understand. You have to connect all the slokas. Connect 2:12. It says Atma Nityaha. That means what? Atma is eternal. Connect with 2:16. It says Atma Satyaha. So that which is eternal, that which is real, is also all pervading. From this sloka, tatam. What you are getting from this sloka? Atma is all pervading. Now, when something has to be all pervading, can it be one or can it be many? Now, let's take an example. Is space all pervading or not? Simple question, ba. Now, we have got people from America, from Singapore, from India, from Dubai, so many, London, so many people are in this particular group. Rangan Mukund, good example, yeah. The space in Rangan Mukund's place is different from the space in Pavani Madam who is in London. Different from space in my place. Can we say like that? Can we say like that? Only what people with dull intellect say, no, this is called a hall space. It is called India space. That is called Singapore space. That is called US space. You can say like that. Space is one or many? One or many? Just like space is only one, but seemingly many, because in your own house, what is happening? You got, for example, before building a house, you got one empty land. Look at it. What is that? Only space is there. Suddenly you start constructing 4 walls. So you get one space which is called within the 4 walls. We say 4 walls, within the 4 walls. Then you put 2 more walls and put the bedroom, put kitchen, put another drawing room. What happens? It becomes hall space, bedroom space, kitchen space. Is a different space. Correct? What are we saying? For transaction, we are saying this is hall space or drawing room space, kitchen space. But if you really think, 2 things you will understand. One, that all the space is one and the same. The wall is seemingly creating a distinction between drawing room space and bedroom space. Next reality, this house itself is in a space. If is space within the house or house itself is in space? Are you getting the point? I'm going to stop for a second for you to answer. Nobody is answering. So this is called Vyavaharika Drishti and Paramarthika Drishti. So for children, you say sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Correct? Really, sun is rising in the east and setting in the west, or what? What is actually happening? The earth is rotating, sun is stationary. So for you, sun is rising. See, suddenly you become Newton, you become Albert Einstein, you become a scientist. Please understand, that is how you have to think. Vedanta makes you think differently. Because we are so busy with life, running around so many things, not understanding. So, what is happening in reality is this body is called a upadhi. Upadhi means what? It is close to the supreme principle, but hiding the principle. So it's called upadhi. So my body, other person's body, is creating the individuality. Actually, the pure consciousness principle inside, or so-called inside. It is not actually only inside, it is also outside. But this physical body is what is showing as if I am different from the other body or other animal or insect or whatever it is. Antar bahischa tat sarvam vyapya narayana sthitaha. Have you heard this mantra? Antaha bahihi. Antaha means what? Inside. Antar bahischa. Bahihi cha tat sarvam. So why this mantra should say, Veda mantra should say, Antaha, there is something inside, something outside. Because we don't know that is only one that pervades the entire universe. So the mantra specifically says that principle which is within you is what is present outside. And not only that, tat sarvam. In fact, that mantra is what Bhagavan is saying indirectly here. Are you getting the point? No, Aruna, you understand? No. Antar bahishcha tat sarvam. There it is used Yapya Narayana Sthitaha. That Narayana is not somebody with name and form. Narayana is Brahma Tattvam. Please understand. That which has no name and form, ultimately you will understand that. So far, it's okay. Venkat Sitaraman sir, looks like your camera is something wrong. Your face is not seen. Blank screen. Okay. Are you getting this point? So when you connect the eternal, real, all-pervading nature, then you get a concept of this supreme principle which cannot be destroyed. So what is it? It is avinashi. It is imperishable. It is amyayaha, changeless. It is nirdvamsaha, indestructible. So now you see all this, now you put together. The greatest thing that you will know is that I am eternal. I am, my true nature is that of reality, not this changing body, not this changing mind. Is mind stable? Whose mind is extremely stable, you tell me? You should give Nobel Prize for that person, correct? Nah. One day itself, how many times our mind changes? Tita prajna, yes. Okay, fine. So, And it is all pervading. That principle is, where is the principle? Where is the principle? It is my nature. It is my nature. Please understand that it's one thing to read that Atma Nityaha, Atma Satyaha, Atma Tatam, Atma Avinashi, Atma Avyayaha, Atma Nirdhamsaha. You can keep on studying. You have to own up to Atman. And so what you should do? Own up to Atman. Learn to handle Anatma. That means what? Your true nature is Atma Tattvam. Never shake from that. You stick to that and learn to handle this body, this sense organ, mind, intellect, the world. Depending on its capability, it will do something. And depending on action, some reaction will come. So you leave it between itself, action, reaction, let it happen to this perishable entity. I am that imperishable Atma Tattvam, pure consciousness, ever happy. Anando Brahmeti Pejanat. Once you start slowly understanding this, there is no way you cannot be established in Paramananda Swarupam. You are getting the point? So what is summary of this shloka? This all-pervading, you can say an all-pervasive entity. Nature, this is the nature of Atma Tattvam. And it is what is called Sarvagatatvam. Now, because it is Sarvagatam Tatam, one important, another principle you get. Space and many are one. Is space many or one? If space itself is one, Atman has to be one. So Atma Ekaha, write down. That is how you get this principle. Atma Ekaha, I told you on Upanishad mantra. Ekameva Dvitiyam. Naveen, you should know this mantra. Sade, last class I told, please write this. Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. Balamurthy sir, you're getting the point, right? Sadeva Somya, hey Somya, this Sat principle, this existent principle, truth principle is only one. Ekameva Advitiyam. This is what will slowly take you to understanding Vedanta and Atmajnanam Brahma Tattvam. Ekameva Advitiyam. Ekameva Advitiyam is called Ekameva Advitiyam. Are you clear? Clear, huh? So why are we not understanding all this? Sir, you are saying all these things are all going over in transmission, sir. We are not able to understand. So what we will do is, we will take today 5 minutes to look at our notes. And with the notes, you go back and listen to the lecture again, recollect, then quickly you will get some thoughts done. So let us go to the notes, which our team has made with a lot of diligence. You really don't know. Our Rangan Mukund, Kalamalini, madam, so many people from the notes team are here. Shamala madam, we're all there. Lata ji is there. They're all taken a lot of pains, and Vandana madam, all are there. They extract from hours of lectures. The Srividya, the leader of the team, they're all doing such a great work and extracting from that, then condense, and finally essence is being given to you. And that's why you look at this page number 3. So what is the root cause of all our problems? Now you should answer all the questions. Open book, like open book questions. Harvard University. I think Harvard is give open book questions. You can also be in Harvard. Vedanta Harvard. Okay. Chair for Vedanta, you should sponsor in Harvard University. So first go to the vicious cycle of samsara. You all know. What is the root cause? Now answer avidya is the root cause. Because there is avidya. How did avidya come? Quick question. How did avidya come? Don't ask the question. Evam ayam anadi avidya. So it has come from time immemorial. See, if you go to a forest to pluck mango fruits, somebody said to a boy, please go and pluck mango fruit in the forest. That boy went to the forest and looked at the mango tree and started thinking, when did this mango tree come? How many leaves has it got? He started thinking. What will happen? He will never pluck the fruit, he will never enjoy the fruit. Then even if he thinks, finds out mango tree came 200 years back, he will then ask, how did this come 200 years back? Oh, some seed should have been sown. How did the seed come? Some other tree should have been there. In Sanskrit, it is called as Bijankura Nyayam. Write down. Bijam means seed. Ankura means shoot. So, which comes first? No, what comes first? You tell me. There is a lot of wonderful Tamil songs. I don't want to relate all this. You all should know the song. Kantirandadum, Kachi Vandada, Kachi Vandadum, Kantirandadum. There are 12 different things in one song. Now you all go and listen to old song, Tamil song, very nice. What came first? So, Bhijankur Nyaya Vatvat. You don't know when this avidya came. So, what you should do, instead of trying to analyze when did avidya come, how it came, what you should do? You should focus on chicken and egg. You don't want non-veg in the class. Okay. That's why I didn't quote that. Okay, anyway, that's fine. No problem. Fine. No, thanks to the person. Okay, now you please understand. So, should you bother about when avidya came, or you should focus on removing avidya? You tell me. Smarter person will focus on removing avidya. So, eat the mango. Very good. Pluck the mango and eat. So, start understanding what happens in avidya. It creates. And what is avidya from definition I gave you? Priya madam, you tell me, what is definition of avidya? The feeling that I am incomplete, though my nature is that of Purnatvam. Purnamadav Purnamidam. Write down. If you are very studious, you should write down against avidya, the box. They have done all the work. Why don't you write something on the notes? Not understanding Purnamadav Purnamidam is avidya. Write down. Most of you know Purnamadav Purnamidam Slokha or not? Mantra theriyada? All of you know that or not? The meaning of that mantra is that Brahman is also Purnam, I am also Purnam. But I don't know I am Purnam. I know only Purnam. Kodakattai Purnam, which we do during Ganesh Chaturthi or Sankara Chaturthi, Pataring Ilya, and the Purnam nan theriyum. In fact, that Purnam Mukunda is indication of Purnatvam Ganapati. Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattamasi, Tvameva Kevalam Karta, Solran Ilya. So, Ganapati Tattvam is Purnam. That's Purnam Bhagavan. Okay. Anyway, because I am feeling I am not complete, I have desire to get completeness. Yes or no? You got some desire, right? Why are you running away from this? Because you want to get completeness. And that desire will make you go into action. The reason we are acting today is because there is some desire behind every action. There is a Manu Dharma Shastra, one shloka I told sometime back. Anybody can recollect? Yadyadhi kurute jantuhu tattat kamasya cheshtitam. Where you go? Akamasya kriya kachite. Drishyate nehi karhichite. Yadyadhi kurute jantuhu tattat kamasya cheshtitam. Manu is a very, very sukshma buddhi. He says, wherever I see any action, I can see desire behind that action. Akamasya kriya kachit. Person has no desire, he will not go. For example, you all have a long weekend in US now. Correct? Memorial. Don't think I don't know what is happening in the world. Memorial Day weekend is there. Many people have got a desire to go from California to Florida, from Boston to California. For Americans, America is the world. They don't think world exists outside America. Let me tell you that also. Right? So you go from here to there. You got desire to go from California to Florida. Kamam, desire. If you don't have desire to go, what you will do? You will sit in California. Correct? You are in Boston. You will sit there only. You will not go anywhere. In spite of weekend. Akamasya kriya kach. Manu, you can apply to yourself. If I don't have desire to travel, I will be here only. Correct? Apply or not? Seattle. Okay. Okay. You will sit there. Correct? You will be seated in Seattle. You will be seated in Seattle if you don't have desire to travel. Right? So, akamasya kriya kachit. Drishyate naiha karhichite. I cannot see any action for a person who has no desire. Yadyadhi kurute jantuhu. Wherever there is action of any jantu, any living being, tattat kamasya cheshtitam. The desire is the driving factor for action. Understood? So desire will lead you to action. And unfortunately, when you get into action, what happens? You will develop likes and dislikes. You will get benefit, you will get opposite also. You also remember Mahaparivā here. You put the Mahaparivā's golden statement here. If you have a cow, what it will do? It will give you milk. It will also give you cow dung. Sir, you can get a cow without getting cow dung. Milk and the word similar to that, when you get into the world of action, expect the world to generate raga dvesha in you, duality. That is the nature of Maya. Tata madam is going through that. Tata is trying to form a team. 50% not responding. They're not responding. That's what will happen. You think that's very elementary, very basic for people, they will not do. And you sometimes surprised that, am I doing wrong or they are doing wrong? Because the majority will belong to the other side. That is another big problem. NRS, correct? We will think that we are doing correct, but majority reaction will be very, very different. So you start questioning your own, what am I doing right or wrong? So please, that's why I say, hold on to Dharma Shastram. If you hold on to Dharma, nobody can sort of confuse you. You can be very clear that what I am doing is right. So you stick to Dharma, continue action, let people react whatever they want. You don't. So Raga Dvesha will come. And if you get stuck in Raga Dvesha, then what will happen? Like Arjuna, you will go into Moha. You will get Shoka, deep sorrow, because things won't happen the way it's happening. Look at the flow chart. Are you able to see the flow chart there? Representation of our cycle of samsara, Ramesh Venkateshan. Your entire life, Pala Janmam, Palakodi Janmam is there in this one particular chart. Oh, Shoka. And this Shoka will what it will do? Deal with Moha. Moha means what? When you are deeply in sorrow, you'll never make right decisions. You'll be in confusion. And this confusion creates further. It's like fertilizer for avidya. Avidya or tree. It wants to somehow die. But that you are not allowing the avidya to die. You're putting more fertilizer, more water to avidya and growing avidya. And that is what the cycle of samsara continues. And as long as avidya is there, avidya is called what? Karana Shariram. Write down another point. It's the Karana Shariram. The cause for you to be born again and again. Unless that is erased, you will never be able to erase cycle of samsara. That means what? Karana Mandanaka, Sukshma Sharira will come, Thula Sharira will come. Karana Murunda Boro. Ella Mandro. So the Karana Sharira is called what? Avidya. What is opposite of avidya? All of you Sanskrit Pandits now. You should tell me. Opposite of avidya is what? Vidya. Very good. Correct? Simple techniques. In Sanskrit, for any namapadam, that means a noun form, if you put akara, it is opposite. Okay, today some Sanskrit. Okay. Avidya opposite of vidya. So to get rid of avidya, what is the only solution? Only vidya, only knowledge. Jnanam only can help. So then you can say, what sir, people are saying, do japam, jnanam, puja, tirthayatra, all that will prepare your mind to get jnanam. So they're all preparatory steps to get jnanam. You understand this? Don't forget this. Brahmavidya, Vijay madam, correct. Now, how do you then get to this state of jnanam? Look at the beautiful pyramid diagram our team has made. Today's class is dedicated to my notes team. Fantastic notes team of 25, 26 people are doing fantastic job. Please go and look at it. I know you're not looking at home. That's why I'm doing it in the class now. Now, the entire cycle is captured in the first part of the pyramid. It's called the horizontal pyramid. Now, nowhere you'll get. Even Egypt, you won't get horizontal pyramid. Correct? Egypt is close to NRS place. NRS, I go to Egypt. Not it. Okay. You will not get horizontal pyramid in Egypt. So what happens? So this starts. Your big desire, attachment, miseries, delusion create some problem in your mind. They create mental attachment. So what happens? When you start working, you start liking somebody, you dislike somebody, you like that, you like ice cream, you don't like what? Bitter gourd. Likes and dislikes. In everything have you got that. Then what happens? You start developing emotional dependency. Without this person, I cannot live. You say no. That's what they do in US, correct? Before the marriage, Mukund, they write this prenuptial agreement. They swear in the marriage that we will be together forever. Before that, there is an agreement already. In case something happens, what should happen? How the share is going to be done, correct? Look at the paradox of life. So they think I'm attached, but then happens. So emotional dependency. Then what? Beyond that, there is some psychological addiction. You all have not discovered that. Very deep rooted. That will come out only in some dream. It will come. If you're doing all dhyana, meditation practice, it will appear in that. That's something that is their core, which can be removed with different sadhanas. That will be there. And then that creates a very, very messy mind. So what happens? The first step to mental stability is karma and upasana. When you do karma, your daily duties correctly, sandhyavandanam, puja, japa, dhyana, homa, tirthayatra, satsangam, you keep doing this and you do some amount of meditation, mind becomes calm. What happens? You are able to control your mind to some extent. So when mind is calm, it's composed, they will take some pressure. Whenever there is pressure also, you have the shock absorber. Doing proper karma, upasana will give punya and it will absorb the shock. Because whatever happens in the world, you will not react too much. I use the word, no Greek. What the thing? From what? What? That happened? So what? Chalo, this also will go. That you will start getting slowly. And then what happens? When the mind is calm, then only the mind starts thinking, is there something that can take me to permanent state of happiness? Because even if you do karma, upasana, everything, I told you, the amplitude is very high. Look at a sine wave. You all know sine wave, right? In a sine wave, the amplitude is there. Without karma, upasana, it will be hitting huge numbers, amplitude. If you do karma, upasana, it will reduce the amplitude of sine wave. It can only reduce the amplitude. It cannot make it zero. The more you do, the more it will reduce, the amplitude will reduce. You are getting the point? Are you understanding? Electricity, oscilloscope, you see? No. Guru sir, correct? Pandurpar, college Pandurpar. Even though he's a child accountant, he knows all these things. I know that, correct. You will have known all this. Okay. So the amplitude of what? The dualities, the higher, the upper one is your so-called likes, lower one is dislikes. Labham, nashtam. No, jayam, apajayam. Manam, apamanam. Kirti, apakirti. No, all those things are your opposites. By karma, upasana, you reduce the amplitude, get it closer to the normal line, but it never becomes zero. Then what happens? That is your third, in the horizontal pyramid. Once you understand that I cannot find solution, the final solution on my own. Pariksha lokan, karmachitan, brahmanaha, nirvedamayan nas jagatakhatena tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. Samitpani shrotrim brahmanishtham. You go to a great guru and surrender. Hey Guru, adhi bhagavo brahma. We are going to study that. Taittiriya Upanishad. People can wake up at 6:30 in the morning. East Coast. Please come and attend Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhrigu tomorrow Sunday. Good small boy. Bhrigu goes to his father, Arjuna, and says, Adhi bhagavo brahma. Please teach me Brahman. Namala enna kendirkom? Please get me ice cream. Right? Fine. Ice cream saapidunga. Brahmani therinjukoma. Na adha solluven. I am not saying it is one or the other. I am telling you it can be both. But finish ice cream before Brahman class. Don't come and eat ice cream in the Brahman class. Surrender to Guru. And there is a methodology to teach Vedanta. Please understand. Not everybody can teach. There is a methodology to teach. That sampradayam, that tradition, you go through that method. See what happens. You see, great athletes, world champions, there are special coaches. Yes or no? Are you getting the point or not? Right? For example, even in our own country, some world beating champion badminton will be coached by one person up to a point. After that, when they want to face, say, the Koreans, the Chinese, the Japanese, they will go to different coach because they know the technique to make you a world champion. Yes or no? I hope you understand, right? Gymnastics, special coach is there. Why not a normal coach? And Atma Jnanam is like world champion. The numero uno, the greatest knowledge, Rutvij. So there are only very few people who can coach you. So go to the right coach and get the jnanam. You understand now? That is how you destroy your avidya. Knowledge comes, avidya goes away. Please understand. Just when light comes, darkness goes away. Jnanam comes, ajnanam goes away. It's no question of trying to say, where is ajnanam? Ajnanam will go away. Clear? Then, Slokha 11 to 30 is Atma Anatma Viveka that Bhagavan is explaining. We have gone through all those slokas. 12 to 15 we have done. One beautiful example is, just like the external body undergoes different stages, Baljam, Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara, and then leaves this body and goes to another body. You want to know how the Jivatma goes to another body? You are interested? I will tell you today. You want to know? In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is one mantra, set of mantras which says beautifully. Have you seen this leech that is there on the tree? Now, there is one leech kind of insect. I've seen round a gunda. When it is moving, what it will do is it will go and stretch itself and take support on another entity and then leave the supporting base. Have you seen it? Observe. And the Madhuri, the mantras, because only mantras can reveal what happens after death. Nobody knows. Venkataraman sir, correct? Do we know? Bhagavad Gita says, just like a leech catches hold of the next stage or next support and then leaves this particular support. Have you seen it or not? You can go into internet and search. What is it called as some other, what is it? What is the name of the insect? I think it is called leech. I don't know. You can tell me what it is. If anybody knows a better word for that. Caterpillar. Okay, fine. Caterpillar. Okay, caterpillar. Correct. Okay. Similar to caterpillar. Correct. Caterpillar. This Jivatma, after finishing the innings in this body, I told you, this fellow inside is very selfish. As long as this body is very nice, everything is taken care of, Shushrusha, everything, then properly it will be inside. The moment this fellow feels that this fellow, the excellent fellow, is not able to take care of me, he will leave. And because of the samskara, the person knows where he is going to go. Destination is known already. So the destination already, it will start leaving the body, and then there it will go fine. That is how it leaves. So that is what happens. So what? The Jivatma goes through various stages. So even though this physical body dies, Jivatma doesn't die. That's what Sukshma Shariram Karan doesn't die. It goes on migrating. Once you get Atma Jnanam in some life, by God's grace, then the Karan Shariram also is erased. So Brahmaivasan Brahmapyeti. Natasya Pranaha Utkramanti. Brahmaivasan Brahmapyeti. So this body will no longer transmigrate. It will merge with the Supreme. That is Moksham, as per our Vedanta. So that's what happens. So Bhagavan has continued and brought us to various aspects. Brought us to 17. So let's go to now 18. Pravara, please come. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Antavanta ime deha Nityasyokta sharirinaha Anashino prameyasya Tasmad yudhyasva bharata.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Antavanta ime deha Nityasyokta sharirinaha Anashino prameyasya Tasmad yudhyasva bharata.
Together, all of us. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Antavanta ime deha Nityasyokta sharirinaha Anashino prameyasya Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Before you go into details, one very, very interesting fact, Bala Natarajan, for you. Anashin is there in this mantra, in this sloka. You all know Anashin? You all know Anashin or not? What is Anashin, bhai? Old tablet for, I don't know whether it's still in practice, Anashin, okay? Then, Anashin, stick to Anashin. The sloka Anashin is there, bhai. There or not, Anashin is there. Headache medicine, correct. Naveen V, correct. Aprameya means, you know what? Unexplainable. So my Paramaguru, Sri Satchidananda told, in fact, in his place, somebody put many years back a board in the front of the medical shop that I have got that medicine which is authorized by Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. It is called Anashin. It is unexplainable. It will cure your headache. So they use this Bhagavad Gita Shloka to market Anashin tablet. Anashin Aprameya, which cannot be explained. So it's got magic formula inside. That secret formula like Coke. Vinod, the Coke formula within drinking Coke. Yeah, I keep telling, I don't know why. Anyway, fine. It's a different topic. So that is one side joke my Swamiji used to say. Anyway, coming to the point. What the sloka is saying is, it is said. Bhagavan is saying it is said. That means what? He is not creating something on his own. So beware. People who invent something on their own, create something on should be avoided. Bhagavan is telling. So he says, Uktaha. There is an Uktaha word. I'll tell you where it comes when you do Padavibhaga. Okay, Uktaha means it is said. All these bodies are perishable. So once again, Bhagavan is comparing and contrasting matter principle and the conscious principle. I told you, we are all a combination of two. What are the two? You should answer quickly in the chat box. One is the matter principle, another is conscious principle, and both are what? Intertwined. Right from Nakashikhantaram, we say, from the tip of your toe to the top root of the hair or top, conscious pervades everything, correct? So that is integrated with your body. You cannot separate. I told you, no. What is the example I gave? Milk and coffee. After that, decoction, separate both you cannot do. So the body aspect of your existence is perishable and they separate wonderfully when you die. When you are alive, they are interconnected and mixed. When you die, they separate. That's a beauty. Only Bhagavan can explain what it is. Okay. All these bodies are perishable, which what happens? But there is something that is imperishable within you and unobjectifiable, that which doesn't come under the ken of senses. So externally, everything is perishable, but they are seemingly attached to the imperishable entity which is inside you. Therefore, my dear Arjuna, you should fight. What does it mean? You look at Bhishma, Drona, internally they have an imperishable entity. Externally, seemingly something is perishable. So even if you hit with arrows and they die, the perishable entity goes. Imperishable aspect of Bhishma, Drona will not go. Look at Krishna Paramatma using a topical situation to give the highest truth. And so that is how we learn Atma Tattvam through Bhagavad Gita. Understood? No? Now, Padavivaga, Antavantaha. Visarga is required. Antavantaha ime dehaha nityasya uktaha. Break it. Nityasya plus uktaha, nityasya uktaha, sharirinaha, anashinaha. Our famous anashin has come. So if somebody asks, here is anashin tablet, Slokha number 218. Now, anashinaha, aprameyasya. Please enjoy Bhagavad Gita, right? All Krishna Paramatma is the most jolly person. Please understand. Namala series are going. Gita series are going. Series Hindi. Relax, learn. Jnanam, moksham. So, anashinaha, aprameyasya, tasmat, therefore, yudhyasva. My dear Arjuna, fight. Hey Bharata. Anvaya. Uktaha. Very underline this word. Where is uktaha come? Nityasya uktaha. Uktaha means it is being said. It is being said in the Vedas, the Upanishads, or Sanatana Dharma. I am not inventing anything. Krishna Paramatma himself is saying, I am not inventing anything new. Na Ram Subramanian, correct? யாராவது நான் புதுசா ஒன்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கேன் வாங்கணும் என்ன பண்ணணும்? குருக்கே நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணி இப்படி திரும்பி போயிடணும். புரியுது இல்லையா? So uktaha. So it is said what? Antavantaha, perishable. Anta means end. Vantaha means nature. So nature of perishability, antavantaha, ime dehaha. All these bodies have got perishability as its nature. Swabhavam. Understand that? Understanding? Are perishable. Bodies are perishable. Then what? There is something that is eternal. Nityasya. So, which belong, which are seemingly connected, seemingly supported by, supported by something that is eternal, belongs to the eternal. Anashinaha. Anashinaha, imperishable. Are you getting the understanding of the sloka or not? The perishable body is being supported by an same previous sloka, by an imperishable entity, which is also aprameyasya. And unobjectifiable, that is not measurable, that cannot be understood by the ken of senses, beyond the ken of senses. What is the mantra I should quote here? Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan nabibheti kadacha neti. So Upanishadum. Sendu padikkanum. Should study Upanishad Gita together, then knowledge will be very nice and complete. So that eternal entity inside has got two aspects. Write down 1, 2. One is imperishable. Whereas the body is perishable, the supporting principle called Atman or Brahman is imperishable. Anashinaha. Aprameyaha. Aprameyasya. And unobjectifiable. What? Sharirinaha. Sharira is where Shariri is different. Write down. Vela Sukshmam. You will not get anywhere. 𝐈𝐦𝐸𝐻𝐭. Sharira andre bere. Shariri andre olagade iruvanu. Sharira the olagade iruvanu Shariri. One is inside Sharira. Who is inside Sharira? Bonda is there inside. You say, Bonda is no. The one supporting principle is your Shariri. So, Sharirinaha, Atma Tattvam. So separate yourself. This sloka separates your own existence into two. Bhagavan is saying, I am not saying. And Bhagavan is saying that Vedas are saying. So Vedas are saying through Bhagavan to you. Upanishad is what Bhagavad Gita is. Upanishad Saram. It's being told Bhagavan that in you there are two aspects. So what Bhagavan is advising Arjuna, we are all Arjuna, please understand. And we don't have Bhishma Drona to fight. Are you getting the point? Sita madam, Sita is Ushayar. You know, Bhishma Drona edirkilliye. Bhagavad Gita is not applicable to us. Let us go home. That is not the idea. Idea is Atma Tattvam Bhagavan is explaining to us. The mind to fight la irkatom. Now we have to fight our battle of life. Arjuna had a battle to fight Bhishma and Drona. Is the battle of life there or not? After Gita class, you will start the fight or not? Zindagi har kadam ek nayi rang hai. You go back to the song. Jeet jayenge hum. Correct? I hope some people remember this song. So every stage in life, you got some challenges. So you understand your true nature, know how to handle this perishable entity, stick to Atma, handle Anatma. Therefore, Tasmat, fight. What? Yudhyasva. Verbal form. Fight what? Hey Bharata. Who is Bharata here? Arjuna. What's the point? So Bhagavan is saying that you have two aspects. Use your perishable aspect for interaction in the world. Stick to imperishable aspect. I keep saying another one you take. Example. Many of you may be listening to Carnatic music kacheri. Correct? There is something called as tambura. Nowadays it's like electric tambura. Correct? Shruti. Shruti. Correct. Now what does it do? Does Shruti change? Depending on the ragam the person sings. Ragam, thanam, pallavi. Or TP. Does the Shruti change? Shruti can never change. If somebody sings, they should stick to the Shruti. If they don't sing according to Shruti, you will say it's apashruti. You know, Ravi Heltirala, apashruti. You will find apashruti very easily. Whether you know the song, Ragam, Karahara Priya, Shankar, you know that is apashruti. Similarly, your Shruti should be Aham Brahmasmi, Tat Tvam Asi. That you don't deviate from that in the mind. You go on doing whatever you want in the world. Just like a music singer sings different ragam, different talam, different things doing. You go on acting in the world with a firm knowledge that Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma Asmi, Tat Tvam Asi. Stick to that, and then you will be able to get that knowledge. Time adds. Shall we chant one sloka and end today's class? Prabhu, please come. We'll chant one more sloka before we close the class today. Sloka number 19. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. Yaenam vetti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hantina hanyate.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yaenam vetti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hantina hanyate.
Together, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yaenam vetti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hantina hanyate. So before we leave Sloka 18, please note down. In Sloka 18, Bhagavan is talking about which particular aspect of Atma Tattvam. Go back to your appendix 4. Bhagavan is talking about Atma Aprameyaha. Atma is immeasurable, cannot be subject to empirical analysis. Go and underline that. So you know that you have completed so far. So you understood today. As of today, you understood what all aspects. Can you all start writing in that box? I have understood that Atma is eternal. Where is Atma? Where is Atma? Na. Atmanathan. Where is Atma? So you start writing, I am eternal. I am the change. No, not inside. I. Not inside you. Your nature is that. I am eternal. I am the changeless entity. I am the truth, existence principle. Okay. I am that all-pervading Atma Tattvam. And I am only one. One Atma is pervading entire universe. Anek Atma lang kadiyadu. Adallam Advaitam Vishishtadvam. I'll give a comparative analysis of Advaitam, Vishishta Advaitam and Dvaitam. So you'll understand what is happening in different Siddhantas. Why are they saying mini Atma? And what is the ultimate truth? Why one Atma is the ultimate truth? You will understand. One day when I give you that, we'll take 2-3 hours lecture on that. So Atma Ekaha. And then today you understood Atma Aprameyaha means, prameya means what? Prameyaha means that which can be known. The Triputi, Ram Subramanian, Sonalya. Pramata is the knower. Pramanam is the means of knowledge. Write down. Prameyam means that which can be known. Very important. Very rarely you get this. Please write down this. So it's called Triputi. Three aspects that go into the act of knowing. Without a knower, without a means of knowledge, without an object to be known, this act of knowing cannot happen. You're understanding? So prameyaha means that which can be known by some means. Either mathematical formula, empirical formula, telescope, chemical analysis, pressure, temperature, volume. You can do anything but somehow know something, correct? Joule's law you can use. All those laws you can use and understand anything. But Atma Tattvam, nobody can catch. You cannot catch by any or modern science or anything. So aprameyaha means what? It is not objectifiable. It cannot be measurable. Simply put, it is not subject to empirical analysis. I'll give you the last clue which you can think for the next 5 days till next Thursday. The entire matter principle falls into 3 gunas. Later, another way of explaining this. Rajogunam, Tamogunam, Sattvagunam. And that is what is the entire various combinations. That is what is the entire matter world. And so it is subjected to empirical analysis because it has got some guna, quality. Whereas Atma Tattvam is Triguna Atitam. Triguna Atita Namo Namo. We sing a bhajan, no? So the Triguna Atita Tattvam is what? Atma Tattvam. So it can never get into empirical analysis. Very important principle. Please remember this. And where is that? Aprameyaha. This is Aprameyaha. Enapa? Idella doubt la irukingla. 𝐈𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 Sundar VK is right answer. I am Aprameya. I am the principle. Initially, I'll tell you the path of Vedanta is initially you trust this knowledge, this particular Upanishad is being extracted from Bhagavan. As I told you in some other class, the first requirement for a student of Vedanta is write down Shastra Vishwasa Shali. Can somebody write in the chat box? You should have tremendous implicit faith in Shastras. If you don't have faith in Shastras, you will not make progress. Second is implicit faith in the person who is teaching the Shastras, Sampradaya with Guru, have implicit faith. Then that will lead you to Bhagavan and then to final knowledge that Aham Brahma Asmi. Without that, you cannot make a beginning. You start doubting every sentence. No, I know, I cannot understand. Anything that is beyond kind of sense I want to accept. Means what? You don't qualify. Qualifying roundly, you will be beaten. Wimbledon, now Wimbledon, you will be beaten in the qualifying round itself. You want to go and win Wimbledon or you want to be beaten in the first round itself, qualifying round. Choice is yours. To qualify for Vedanta, one of the simple things is trust the Shastra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purna Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om Tatsat Krishna 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 Shubhamastu Samasta San Mangalani Bhumsukya. If people are interested, tomorrow morning, I think on second Sunday morning, 7:30 AM IST, we are doing one beautiful chapter called what? 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. What is the great cosmic form, Bhagavan, we are discussing. If you're interested, definitely participate. Study everything together. And my thinking is weakened. Somehow you put some Vedanta in the mind, it will work, at least because weekend pressure is less. Then you get discharged during the weekdays, become very weak by Friday. Come and recharge on Saturday, Sunday. No, we know that. Then get discharged again. Recharge. Keep on doing this at least for 10, 20 years. Then finally, hopefully, you don't need any charge. You become UPS. UPS na uninterrupted possible. No discharge. And the level get that. Be working on it. NRS, my throat is slightly improved, but still I don't want to strain too much. I'll take questions in the next class. Slightly better than last class. So next Thursday morning, India, hopefully my throat is, all pray, my throat gets better. Then only I can answer Q&A. Okay? Hari Om. That's it. We'll see next Thursday morning, India time.